SwayamPrabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Dear students, you are welcome in this class. I am Dr. Dinesh Kumar, Principal Scientist, Division of Agronomy, ICAR, Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi. The course is Agronomy of Oilseed, Fiber and Sugar Crops. The title of this lecture in this course is Nutrient, Water, Weed, Insect Pest and Disease Management and Processing of Linseed Produce. The learning objectives of this lecture are to explain the nutrient, water and weed management practices in linseed. So, linseed is important oilseed crop and how best we can manage the nutrients, how best we can manage the water and weed etc. will be discussed in this lecture. And we will also learn about the insect pests and diseases management and processing of the linseed produce. Some glossary. Adjuvant, substance that enhances the effectiveness of a pesticide. Then band placement, applied to a linear restricted strip on or along crop rows rather than continuous over the field area. So, band placement can be done in cases of fertilizers. Biological pesticides, pesticides derived from living organisms such as Bt, Bacillus thuringiensis. Evapotranspiration ET, amount of water transpired by plants retained in plant tissues and evaporated from plant tissues and surrounding soil. So, as it suggests that it is total of evaporation losses as well as transpiration losses. Irrigable area, area capable of being irrigated, chiefly as regards to availability of water, suitable soils and topography. Superphosphate, it is basically a fertilizer product obtained when phosphate rock or rock phosphate is treated with sulfuric acid or phosphoric acid or a mixture of both these acids. Water table, upper surface of groundwater or that level in the ground where the water is at atmospheric pressure. Now, let us start the nutrient management, which is the main subject of this lecture. So, nutrient management is basically supplying the nutrients in right amount at right place and by right method, by right source to the crop. So, best management practices are followed in case of nutrient management. So, productivity of linseed is basically low because its cultivation is restricted to nutrient and moisture starved condition, means it is grown on marginal soils, not very fertile soils. Improved varieties respond well to fertilizer and irrigation to yield profitability. We want higher yields, then we should take high yielding varieties that very well respond to the fertilizers or nutrient application. So, application of 5 to 8 tons per hectare of farmyard manure or compost at final land preparation proved beneficial. A better crop of linseed can be raised on both black cotton soils of Madhya Pradesh and alluvial soils of Bihar by farmyard manure and castor cake. Organic manures improve water holding capacity of soil and soil structure besides providing all essential plant nutrients. Thus, it is suggested to go for integrated kind of management of nutrients where we can combine organic manures such as farmyard manure or compost along with fertilizers. Now, let us start with nitrogen management. So, nitrogen requirement varies from soil to soil and it has been observed that 60 to 90 kg nitrogen per hectare gave best response in irrigated conditions. The range of variation in response to nitrogen is due to the varietal differences. So, just you are seeing that the range is 60 to 90 kg nitrogen per hectare. It is mainly because of varietal differences. Some variety may do better at 60 kg, some may do better at 70, 80 or some may do better at 90 kg. Therefore, this range is given. Under rain-fed conditions, linseed responds up to 40 kg nitrogen per hectare. The doses of nitrogen are lower in rain-fed conditions, mainly because of shortage of water. As we know that water and nutrients or nitrogen has significant interaction. For double purpose, because we know linseed is taken for seed as well as for fiber, varieties it is recommended to apply 120 kg nitrogen per hectare. The time of application of nitrogen fertilizer depends upon whether it is grown under rain-fed or irrigated conditions. So, in irrigated conditions, we can go for split application. So, you can see here nitrogen applied in two splits under irrigated conditions, one as basal at the time of sowing and second split of nitrogen at 25 to 30 days after sowing. If we split the nitrogen doses under irrigated conditions, the nitrogen use efficiency increases. But in case of rain-fed conditions, we need to apply whole quantity of nitrogen when we go for sowing or basal application. In Euthera cultivation, 20 kg nitrogen per hectare applied 2 to 3 days before broadcasting the seed. Many of you know about Euthera cultivation. It is broadcasting of the seed in paddy crop when it is about to mature or say 10 to 15 days before harvest of paddy crop, we broadcast the seed, which is called as Euthera cultivation. Now, phosphorus management. Adequate phosphorus increases oil yield as well as seed yield. Phosphorus hastens here means quickens, it fastens root development and promotes deeper penetration, preventing lodging and brings better use of subsurface moisture. In general, 30 to 40 kg phosphorus in form of P2O5 per hectare is recommended for linseed and it should be applied at the time of sowing. Higher doses of phosphorus is required for double purpose linseed, which is grown for seed as well as for fiber. The quantity is 50 kg P2O5 per hectare. All P is applied at sowing and placement at 2.5 centimeter to side and 2.5 centimeter below the seed is recommended. So, this kind of practice band placement which is slightly away from the seed and at a depth of 2.5 centimeter increases phosphorus use efficiency. Or P deficient plants are dwarf, dark green, leaves small and lower leaves die prematurely. Now, potassium management. Inadequate potassium supply shortens stems and fiber content. Potassium deficient plants show stunting of shoots with internodes shorter, leaves develop brown scorch at the tips and wither. So, many times K deficiency can cause severe damage to the crop. Generally, a dose of 30 to 40 kg K2O per hectare is recommended for linseed and all quantity of potassium should be applied basally. Now, you can see the general fertilizer recommendations for linseed in different states and also under irrigated conditions as well as rain-fed conditions and for seed purpose and also for double purpose. Double purpose is for seed as well as for fiber. So, you can see these doses are given in kg nitrogen P2O5 and K2O per hectare respectively, these ratios. So, now you can see 60, 80, 30 for Assam, Bihar, Haryana, Himachal Pradesh, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh. The dose for seed purpose under irrigated condition is this. And then for double purpose it is 80, 30, 0, 80, 30, 0 for Assam and Bihar and for Haryana 80, 30, 0 and Himachal Pradesh 90, 30, 0. Now, you can see for rain-fed conditions the doses are less. For Assam and Bihar you can see 40, 20, 0. For Himachal Pradesh 20, 20, 20. For Karnataka 40, 20, 0 and Madhya Pradesh 30, 15, 0. Likewise, you can see for Maharashtra, for Punjab, for Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Chhattisgarh, the NPK rates are 60, 80, 30. Kg N P2O5 and K2O per hectare for seed purpose, but for double purpose you see doses are high. For Punjab where it is grown mostly irrigated 120, 40, 40, for Uttar Pradesh 120, 40, 40, for West Bengal 90, 40, 40. Now, see for rain-fed condition in different state, it is in general 40:20 for Maharashtra, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, and for Chhattisgarh it is 30:15:0. So these are the doses of the fertilizer. Now we go for sulfur. We just now seen nitrogen management, phosphorus management and potassium management. Sulfur management is equally important because some responses are being achieved under irrigated conditions in linseed. Sulfur requirement of oilseed crops in general is high, and linseed is no exception. Sulfur deficiency, what are the symptoms? It includes stunting of plant, leaves turn light green, chlorotic, and thus reduces yield. In general, there is chlorosis of the leaves, particularly younger leaves, as this nutrient is less mobile in the plant system. In sulfur deficient soils, 30 kg sulfur per hectare is given through gypsum, and gypsum as a source of sulfur was superior over other sources. Now coming to zinc, in certain areas zinc deficiency is also there, particularly where rice wheat system is quite common. Zinc deficiency more prevalent in Utera cropping, where in paddy a high zinc depleting crop affects the succeeding crop, causing zinc deficiency. Zinc deficiency can be overcome by application of 22.5 kg per hectare of zinc sulphate once in 2 to 3 years. So this dose is for zinc sulphate heptahydrate, which contains about 21% of zinc. For immediate correction in a standing crop, spraying of zinc at the rate of 0.5% zinc sulphate solution is quite promising, and it should be used. Zinc deficient plants are stunted, grayish brown spots appear on younger leaves, especially on upper surface, while on lower surface these appear in dark green blotches. Internodes between leaves shortened, giving rosette appearance. Tip of main stem becomes necrotic. Here necrotic means the death of the tissue happens and lower leaves die from tip downwards, although the stem may remain green for some time. Linseed is considered moderately susceptible to boron deficiency. Hence, soil application of 1 to 1.5 kg boron in calcareous soils or recently limed soil has been suggested. So now we discuss the integrated nutrient management in linseed. So farmyard application of about 5 tons per hectare with 75% of recommended dose of NPK yielded equal to that of full recommended dose of fertilizer. That means if we are using 5 ton per hectare of farmyard manure, that means we can save 25% of NPK. And also there would be definitely improvement in physical, chemical and biological properties of the soil if we are following integrated nutrient management schedule. Thus, a dose of 40 to 60 kg N plus 20 to 30 kg phosphorus plus 20 kg potassium, 30 kg sulfur and 2 to 5 kg zinc per hectare along with 5 ton per hectare FYM can produce a good crop yield of linseed. Now we go to the irrigation management in case of linseed. Basically it is a rain-fed crop. However, some irrigated areas are also there where it responds well to the fertilizers. So of course it responds to irrigation, but enough soil moisture is must for crop emergence. There has to be sufficient moisture in the soil at the time of sowing so that we get good crop stand. Though more than 90% area is rain-fed under linseed, but yields can be doubled with 1 or 2 irrigations at 35 and 75 days after sowing. This DAS acronym is for days after sowing. On light soils, 3 to 4 irrigations produce higher seed and stalk yields. Yusuf 1978 identified seedling, branching, flowering and seed maturation as critical stages for irrigation. So these are important and critical stages for irrigation in linseed. We can define critical stage for irrigation, the stage where if we do not apply water, there will be maximum loss of the crop yield or crop growth. That particular stage is critical stage for irrigation. Thus, linseed response to irrigation and minimal irrigations at critical stages result in higher efficiency. Now we go for weed management. As many of the students know what are weeds. These are unwanted plants which grow in place where they are not required to grow, and they cause damage to the crop by competing for resources. They take up nutrients which were supposed to be taken up by the crop or by the plant. They occupy the space, they share the light, they also share water and space. So therefore, finally these weeds reduce the yield of linseed or any other crop. So mostly grown under conserved moisture and limited nutrient conditions with poor management practices. So weeds pose a major threat to linseed in robbing these conserved limited resources. Already we lack the resources and they are shared by the weeds. Therefore, crop growth can be further reduced. Saraswat 1991 reported that the yield loss due to weed competition in linseed is to the tune of 40%. That means if weeds remain uncontrolled, your crop damage can be up to 40%. Major weeds associated with linseed crop are Anagallus arvensis, which is known as crushed needle, Vicia hirsuta, Asphodilus tanifolius, Fumaria parviflora, Melilotus alba, Melilotus indica, Chenopodium album, Cyprus rotundus, this is Bathua, this is Cyprus motha, Felis minor and Illucine indica. These are some important weeds, and then weed intensity varies with soil type, moisture and fertility. Crop weed competition is initial 20 to 45 days period, which is critical, and ensuring weed-free conditions for this period is essential. That means if we do not remove weeds during this period, there would be maximum loss of crop growth and yield. So 20 to 45 days after sowing is the critical period for weed competition. Clean cultivation by way of 2 to 3 deep plowing after harvest of previous crop reduces initial load of weeds. Means overall we need to control the weeds through different approaches or by integrating the manual, mechanical and chemical methods together. So one hand weeding between rows at 15 to 20 days after sowing, followed by hoeing, controls the germinating weeds and conserves the moisture also. Under irrigated conditions with high use of fertilizers, 2 weeding manually at 20 and 30 to 35 days after sowing are essentials. Pre-plant incorporation of fluchlorelin. Fluchlorelin is basalin at 1 kg AI per hectare, or pre-emergence application of Elachlor at the rate of 1 kg AI per hectare, or post-emergence application of diclofop methyl at the rate 0.7 kg per hectare AI per hectare at 30 days after sowing is effective. Means all the 3 options of herbicide treatment to control the weeds are available. One can go for pre-plant incorporation of basalin, or pre-emergence application of Elachlor, or post-emergence application of diclofop methyl. Now, cuscuta infestation causes serious yield losses by parasitizing on linseed from 15 days after sowing onwards. So, as many of the students know that cuscuta is total stem parasite, and it takes its nutrition from the host plant and causes severe damage to the growth as well as yield of the plants. So, it must be controlled, it must be taken care of. So, it can be serious in Chhattisgarh, Odisha or Vidarbha region of Maharashtra. Crop rotation with non-host cereal is the ideal solution. So, here also we should go for integrated management of cuscuta, and one option could be that crop rotations should be followed with non-host crops. Mechanical methods can also be used. You can mechanically remove the parasitic vines from fields and parasitic seeds from the seed lot. Preventing movement of grazing animals is also important from infested field to the restricting flow of irrigation water from infested area helps to control the weed. So, overall here we need to go for all the preventive measures so that entry of weed seed is not made into the new area. Herbicide pronomide which is CASP 50 WD at the rate of 1.5 kg per hectare should be used at 2 to 3 weeks after post emergence, means at 2 to 3 weeks it should be used. Or fluchlorelin or pendimethalin each at 1 kg AI per hectare as pre-plant or pre-emergence application respectively could reduce the infestation. Now, management of insect pests and diseases. This is really very important. These are biotic stresses which are caused to the plant, and we need to manage them so that the growth and yield of the crop is not reduced. So, crop is of course susceptible to many diseases and pests limiting its production. Rust, powdery mildew and wilt and alternaria blight are major diseases causing yield losses up to 60 or up to 100% sometimes. Linseed bud fly, semilooper, wireworm, cutworm and termites are major insect pests of linseed, and linseed bud fly is the most important pest, reducing the yield beyond 60%. Planting dates and crop nutrition have significant effect on incidence of many pests and diseases. Means we can escape the incidence of insect pests and diseases by manipulating the time of sowing. Overall, yields can be increased by 22 to 56% by controlling these pests and diseases. Important insect pests and diseases are being discussed now. So, you can see the first insect is linseed bud fly. It is also called as gall midge. Scientific name is Desinura linei. So, it damages the damage is the result of feeding by maggots. So, maggots are actually caterpillars which do not have legs. So, these maggots or caterpillar or larvae, they feed on the buds and flowers. Consequently, no pod formation takes place. So, that is really serious damage to the crop. So, what can be done to control the linseed bud fly or gall midge? First, we go for soil solarization by summer plowing. Avoid continuous cultivation in the same field. Application of azadirachtin 300 ppm twice reduces bud infestation up to 63% and thereby enhancement up to 40% in seed yield. So, some plant-based pesticide can also be used like azadirachtin. 2 fortnightly sprays of spinosad 45 SC. SC is soluble concentrate at the rate of 0.015% reduces up to 78% bud fly infestation, which enhances up to 63% seed yield. So, here you can see that two options of controlling the insect are available. One is by plant-based insecticide, which is azadirachtin at 300 ppm, and other is spinosad, which is a chemical at 0.015% concentration. Now, second important insect of linseed is leaf webber. As the name suggests, it makes the web, and pod caterpillar. It is the same insect. Sometimes it is called leaf webber and sometimes pod caterpillar, and scientific name is Antigestra catalonalis. Larvae web together the top leaves or bore into the tender shoots and capsules and feed on them. Attack nearly kills the whole plant, but infestation of the shoots at a later stage hampers further growth and flowering. Flowers and young capsules board at reproductive stage and larvae feed on developing seeds. So, it can lead to very severe damage to this crop. Now, you can see the symptoms of infestation by pod caterpillar. Here you can see the larva is spotted kind of larva, green color, and brownish or blackish small spots are there on this larva, and it is damaging the shoot part. And then you can clearly see the larva is damaging the flower. Here you can see the picture. And third one is capsule or pod. Pod is being eaten or consumed by larva. How to manage the leaf weber and pod caterpillar? So, one option is that you should go for early sowing. First week of July is suggested in Kharif season. Then intercrop with green gram, pearl millet and groundnut, and 2 sprays of neem oil 2% or NSKE. NSKE is neem seed kernel extract. So, NSKE 5% at 15 days interval. And then if you do not want neem oil, one can also use quinol fas. Quinol fas is spraying 25 EC at the rate of 2 liter per hectare to control this particular insect. Now, third important insect is hawk moth or dead head moth, sphinx caterpillar. Acherontia strikes. Damage caused by larvae feeding voraciously on leaves and defoliate plant. Moth also harmful as it sucks the honey from combs in apiaries. So, you can see the larvae on the right side, it is greenish color larvae, and damaging in the second picture you can see the damage being done by the larvae. Now, management of the hawk moth is deep plowing exposes pupa for predation to insectivorous birds. So, bird can control. So, this could be kind of biological control of this pest. Collection and destruction of caterpillars and spray neem seed kernel extract NSKE 5% or quinol fas 25 EC 1200 ml per hectare. So, this insecticide can be dissolved in 500 liters of water and is sprayed in 1 hectare area. The next insect is leaf miner. So, leaf miner, as the name suggests, it mines the leaves. So, large number of tunnels or mines made by larvae between the lower and upper epidermis of the leaves. It interferes with photosynthesis and proper growth of the plants, making them look unattractive. Now, how to manage the leaf miner? Use attractant 1 kg jaggery in 75 liter of water for bird fly. Use bamboo or wooden pegs as bird perches for predatory birds. So, these predatory birds can eat the larvae and reduce the damage. Spray imidacloprid 200 SL at the rate of 100 ml per hectare. This 100 ml can be mixed in 500 liters of water and sprayed. So, just now you have seen that there are number of insects which causes damage to the crop. Similarly, there are also some diseases or plant diseases that cause damage to the linseed crop. So, let us see the details. The first important disease in linseed is rust, which is also called as linseed rust. It is caused by Melamsora linei. So, disease attacks all above ground parts, whether leaves, whether flower or any part of the shoot. Initial symptom appears on leaves as yellow to orange pustules. Pustules is small, rounded and covered by chlorotic zone. On stem, pustules are distributed irregularly and look elongated. Entire field look burnt appearance and plants get killed before maturity. So, sometimes drying of the plant can be noticed. Now, you can see rust damage on the leaf in the picture on the left side. So, rust Melamsora linei, these are orange powdery pustules here very clearly seen. They are of the color of the turmeric or haldi color. Now, on the right side you can see the pustules, dark brown circular lesions or pustules of necrosis produced by rust. Necrosis means this part has been died, the death of the tissues happens. Now, how to manage the rust Melamsora linei in linseed? Use resistant varieties like Himalayan, Jawahar 7 and LCK 38, and also use healthy seed which is free from the disease. Rotate the crop with cereals and other known hosts. Seed treatment with carbendazim at the rate 2 gram per kg of seed. Avoid use of excessive nitrogenous fertilizer. Here the balanced fertilization is more important. The application of fertilizer should be in ideal ratio. 2 sprays of mancozeb at the rate of 0.2% or benomil at the rate of 0.1%. Destroy crop residues after the harvesting. So, these are the important measures to control the rust. Now, next important disease of linseed is wilt, which is called as Fusarium oxysporum linei. So, plant may get infected by the pathogen at any stage of the growth. Entire seedlings cease to grow, collapse, wilt and killed. So, many times it can be very serious disease in linseed. Infection on matured plant initially appears as small dark brown spots on the leaves. Infected leaves soon turn to yellow. You can see on the right side that initially the yellowing of the leaves is there, and that they appear drop down. You can see they are drooping and die and remain standing in field as dry and defoliated. Brown to black streaks can be observed in the vascular bundle of the stem and root. So, you can see here yellowing and brown spots resulting from vascular infection by the fungus. So, how to manage the wilt disease in linseed? Rotate crop with known hosts for 3 to 5 years. Treat the seed with bioagent like Trichoderma viridi at the rate of 10 gram per kg seed, or with fungicides like carbendazim at the rate of 2 gram per kg seed. And also use of resistant varieties or cultivars is suggested like NP1, NP124, NPRR9, NPRR10, 80, 236, 439, 440, K1 and K2. So, these are the resistant varieties against wilt. And other management options are soil solarization will reduce the soil-borne inoculum of wilt, soil application of neem cake or mustard cake, and soil application of biocontrol agent like Trichoderma viridi at the rate of 2.5 kg per hectare mixed with 100 kg FIM or neem seed kernel cake, and then it should be broadcast spread uniformly in the field. Now, next disease is Alternaria blight. Alternaria linei is the scientific name, and another organism is Alternaria linicola. So, these two organisms may cause Alternaria blight in linseed crop. So, what are the symptoms? And leaves will have dark brown irregular patches. Under severe condition, leaves curl and dry up. So, you can see on the right side, extreme right side picture, that curling of the leaves is happening, and you can see the spots here. So, infected floral buds fail to open. On the calyx also small dark lesions appear. Infected floral parts shrink and rot. So, there can be rotting of the flowers. Infected capsule shows burnt appearance. Infected seeds discolored and contain inoculum to cause seedling blight. So, what can be done? What are the control measures for Alternaria blight? Grow resistant varieties like G1, Meera, Nagarkot, Shikha, Sheila, Parvati, etc. Sow during first week of November. Treat seed with Topsin M, 2.5 gram per kg seed, or Iprodion, 2 gram per kg of seed, and spray with Rovrel, Iprodion 0.2% or Mancozeb 0.25% or Calixin 0.05 to 0.1% at 15 days interval. Now, powdery mildew. It is caused by several species of Oidium linei and Libellula torica, etc. Appearance of powdery spots on leaves, entire leaf soon covered by powdery patches. So, that means if your leaf is covered by powdery patches, there may be restricted photosynthesis, which may result in reduced growth of the crop as well as reduced yield. So, severely infected leaves dry up, wither and die. Early infections may cause complete defoliation and reduce the yield. Now, you can see the symptoms of the powdery mildew on linseed crop. So, you can see white color powder is there, therefore, the name powdery mildew. Now, how to manage this powdery mildew? So, sow means sowing early before last week of October. Grow resistant varieties like Kiran, Surabhi, Himalini, Jawahar 23, G1, Janki, Padmini, Meera, Sheila, Rashmi and R552. So, these are tolerant or resistant variety against powdery mildew, and one can go for spraying of Carathane 1%, 0.1% or wettable sulfur 0.3% 2 to 3 times at 15 days interval depending on disease intensity. So, here spraying of the fungicide is required. Now, we go to the next topic, which is harvesting. Harvesting is important, and crop should be harvested by sickle at ripening when stem becomes woody and capsules turn hard. So, that is the time for harvest. This can be known when leaves are dry, capsules turn brown and seeds become shiny. So, capsules are basically kind of pods that are borne by this crop of linseed. Yield potential. Yield varies according to the varieties and growing conditions. In general, a yield of 0.8 to 1 ton per hectare from rain-fed condition can be obtained, and 1.2 to 1.5 ton per hectare with heavier soils and protective irrigation can also be obtained, and 1.6 to 2 tons per hectare under irrigated high input management can be expected. So, you can see that yield under irrigated condition is almost double than the rain-fed conditions. So, value of water is really very important. So, if we convert it into irrigated crop, we can harvest more seed yield from the linseed crop. Now, post harvest and processing. So, after harvesting, we definitely go for threshing of this crop. Threshing may result in getting the grain or getting the seed from the crop. So, harvest is left in field for 3 to 4 days to dry and facilitate early recovery of the seed. Uppermost part of stem with secondary and tertiary branches along with capsules be separated from stem by the cutting. The separation of seed from the separated fruiting parts is done by beating with sticks, wooden clubs or on threshing floor or on a wooden plank. So, this can be done manually by laborers, and seeds are collected after winnowing threshed produce. So, threshed produce may have some hulls and some other material which should be cleaned to get the pure seed. Now, the next important aspect is ratting. So, as you know that linseed is cultivated for two purposes. One is for seed purpose, which is used to extract the oil, mainly oil, and also it is used to extract the fiber. So, for fiber you need to go for ratting, and of course, there are varieties which are only suitable for seed or varieties which are only suitable for fiber, but also we have dual purpose varieties. So, in any case, whenever you are going to obtain or extract the fiber from the linseed crop, we need to go for ratting. So, ratting is important operation here. So, actually ratting is a process of treatment of linseed stalks. Stalks are basically stems for final fiber extraction. Ratting as such cannot improve yield or quality of the fiber, but proper ratting can ensure expected properties of the fiber. Time taken for ratting of course depends on a number of factors such as the genotype, water quality and water temperature, and varies with the season. After harvesting, ratting is traditionally carried out by placing the bundles in pond. So, in villages you find ponds and local ponds are there where you can put the bundles and get dipped properly into the pond through heavy weight, so that bundles can absorb the moisture. So, here purpose is that these stems or bundles should absorb the water, and it is kind of anaerobic fermentation actually, where anaerobic organisms are involved and they start fermentation of this product in the absence of oxygen. So, therefore, ratting happens. Bundles are kept side by side horizontally. Horizontally means along the water and immersed in water 20 to 25 centimeter deep with bamboo or stone or wooden logs. So, you can find some heavy objects in the villages. People can use stones, you can also use wooden logs or any heavy material can be used, so that these bundles do not come to the surface of the water and they remain immersed in the water. The retting process is completed within 3 days, that is 72 hours. So, however, there are number of factors that will affect the retting process. Clostridium bacteria are kind of anaerobic bacteria. These are associated with the stem and help in early retting of bundles. So, they quicken, these Clostridium bacteria quicken the process of retting. After 3 days, the bundles are washed thoroughly with the fresh water. The purpose is to clean all kind of impurity. There may be some soil or some clay may be attached to these bundles, so they should be cleaned properly. After washing, these bundles are made to stand on ground for sun drying. So, we can keep these bundles vertically on the surface of the soil or on the surface of the threshing floor and let it dry. Retting can be done either by cold or hot water, snow, dew or by some chemicals. So, there are number of options or number of materials that can be employed for retting purpose, and the water can be cold or hot water, snow, dew or by some other chemicals. In India, it is done by cold water in rivers, or you can say under normal water and tanks. Temperature of water is the major factor determining the time taken for complete retting. So, what happens actually, a lot of microorganisms are involved in retting process, and therefore, for optimum growth of these microbe, optimum temperature is needed. If temperatures are too low or temperatures are too high, then the activity and growth of these microbes will be affected, and hence the process of retting will also be affected. If temperatures are too low or too high, they will definitely reduce the activity of microbes and finally the process of retting. Therefore, some optimal temperatures have been identified for faster retting of the process. So, retting process is quicker in hot water than in cold water, because in cold water the activity of microbes is slower. However, in hot water the activity of microbes is faster. So, therefore, in hot water you get faster or better retting process. Retting in stagnant water is faster than in running or flowing water due to higher microbial load and activity. So, this is also important. It is better to do retting particularly in ponds or particularly in the stagnant water, because in running water the microbial activity will be less, the microbial load will be less. In running water it will wash the microbes from the bundles. So, therefore, it will take time in running water, but in stagnant or still water you will get higher load of microbes on the bundles, on the material, and hence the retting process is faster. Generally, it takes 4 to 6 days for proper retting or complete retting when the temperature is around 40 degrees centigrade at the time of harvesting of the crop. So, it takes about 6 days when temperatures are around 40 degrees centigrade. Retting process needs to be completed immediately after threshing to extract the fiber before the onset of monsoon, as the extraction of fiber becomes difficult when the stalk get moist. So, it is also important, means the retting process should be immediately done after the harvesting. There should not be any waiting period. If you wait for the period, then it may reduce the quality of the fiber, and also there may be some problems of extraction. The linseed stalk chopped at top end and tied in small bundles after deseeding is shifted to the available source of water like tank or river. The stalk is tied and allowed to remain immersed in water till retting is completed. So, we should not remove or we should not check these bundles every alternate day. It should be taken out once only. During the process, the bundles should be shuffled by replacement of upper layer to lower layer after 2 to 3 days for ensuring uniform retting of the entire load. So, this practice is also important, that shuffling of bundles may be done for uniform rating. If we do not shuffle the bundles, then some bundles may ripen or may rot faster than the others. So, all bundles should get equal opportunities for rating. So, therefore, by turning them up and down, we can create the uniform rating process. Now, it is necessary to test for the determining the complete rating. Determination of optimum period for rating is important, because when the straw is under rat, the separation of fiber is difficult. So, it has to be exactly right rating time. Also, when the straw is over rat, the fiber becomes weak in strength, means more microbial activity has been made, and results in higher proportion of shorter fibers of lower market quality. So, this point should always be kept in the mind. So, completion of rating can be determined by, there are number of methods or ways or measures to find the completion of rating process. So, when straw is bent around the finger, the wood in the center should spring clearly through the sheath of the fiber. This is one. If a piece of the fiber is separated from the straw, it should break under strain without leaving a square broken end. So, after rating is complete, straw should be cleaned in running water to remove dirt and other substances which give out bad odor. So, this process is really necessary, that it should be washed in the clean water, so that the quality of the fiber is maintained or is not compromised. So, cleaning actually softens fiber also, and it increases the acceptability of the fiber. On cleaning, straw should be drained of excess water. This point is very, very important. The excess water should be drained, and then it should be air dried and sun dried in the field. So, this is done to get the ideal moisture percentage in this product. It will be then ready for scooching. So, let us learn what is scooching process. So, scooching is extraction of fiber from the ratted biomass. Whatever biomass has been ratted, now you need to take out or extract the fiber from it. This process is called as scooching. So, two kind of methods are available for scooching. One is manual method, which is very common in India, and other is mechanical method, means using some machine. So, in manual method, small bundles of dried stalk are beaten by hand mallet, that is mongri. Owing to this, wooden part of stalk will split out and fiber can be separated easily. It is suitable for a small scale at farmer's house, and this has been an age-old practice in India to separate the fiber from the linseed stalks. In mechanical methods, as the name suggests, we need to use machine to separate the fiber. So, in this method, the flax stalks go through the machine process, and the KRIJAF is an institute of Indian Council of Agricultural Research, Barakpur. The full form of KRIJAF is Central Research Institute for Jute and Allied Fibers in Barakpur. So, this particular institute of ICR has developed a scooching machine for extraction of flax fiber. So, dear student, the other name for linseed is flax. It quickly separates the fibers in short time. So, here there is a lot of saving of labors. Now, just now you have seen the quality of the fiber. Let us see the seed and oil quality. In India, as most of you might be knowing, that linseed crop is chiefly grown for oil purpose, to get the oil, and its cake is also important. Oil and cake. Oil is of good quality and cake is also of good quality. Cake can be fed to the livestock and poultry, etc. So, these materials contain very nutritious substances, particularly omega-3 fatty acid, and also certain unsaturated fatty acids, which are good for human and animal health. So, let us discuss some seed and oil quality issues. The approximate or approximate composition of seed indicates that all oil concentration range from 35 to 45% and protein from 20 to 25%. So, here you are seeing that the oil content ranges from 35 to 45% and protein from 20 to 25%. So, why do not we have fixed values of oil content and protein content? We do not have, because these values or these quality traits will be affected by genetic factors as well as by management factors. So, genetic factors like variety. So, certain variety may have habit of having higher oil content or higher protein contents, and some variety may have lower values of protein or oil. So, therefore, it is also governed by varietal character, and also of course, the management factors are equally important, where proper plant nutrition, proper management including weed control can improve the quality of the product. So, now see the composition of this oil. Moisture may be 4 to 8%, protein may be 20 to 25%, fat may be 30 to 40%, mineral may be 3 to 4%, dietary may be fiber may be 4 to 8%, and nitrogen free extract from maybe 25.86%. So, you are seeing the seed composition here. So, in this you find that fat is important, which is oil, 30 to 40% oil in the seed and also protein. And you see fiber, fiber is also healthy substance which is there in the seed, about 4 to 8% fiber is there in the linseed seed. Now, let us see the seed and oil quality. The quality of the seed and oil is also important. Varieties having thin seed coat, that is seed coat is actually called as hull. So, varieties which have thin seed coat, hull have higher oil content. This is a general indication. Normally, varieties which will have the thick seed coat will have lower oil content. So, these are actually comparative values of oil content in linseed. Varieties with yellow seeds have higher oil content than those having brown seeds. So, that means the oil content in this crop is a genetically controlled factor also, in addition to the agronomic factors. So, here you are seeing that the varieties having black seed are having lesser quantity of oil, but the varieties which have yellow seeds have higher concentration of oil in their seed. Crude linseed oil has dark umber color. So, color of the oil is also important, which is dark umber color and a strong characteristic odor. One can easily identify the linseed oil by smelling it, because it has a characteristic odor or characteristic smell of its own. The color of the oil is due to the pigments in the oil, and the same can be reduced during its refining. So, you can see that number of pigments are there, and these pigments contribute to the color of the linseed oil. Now, the generalized fatty acid composition of linseed oil is as follows. Now, you can see the composition of the oil of the linseed. So, palmitic acid is a fatty acid, and you can see the concentration of palmitic acid is 4 to 7%. Next is stearic acid, which can be 2 to 4%. Then you can see oleic acid, which is 14 to 38%, and then linoleic acid, which is 7 to 18%, and then linolenic acid 35 to 66%. So, at least you can see here some of the fatty acids here are essential for human beings. So, this was a generalized composition of fatty acids in linseed oil, but interestingly you can see that the linolenic acid concentration is highest in the linseed oil, which is 35 to 66%, and next in the order is oleic fatty acid, which is 14 to 38%, and third important part is linoleic, which is 7 to 18%, and the lowest and then lowest level are for stearic acid, which is 2 to 4%. Linseed oil is liquid at room temperature. As we know, it is liquid, means unsaturated, because of high degree of unsaturation and unique with more than 50% linolenic acid. In the last slide, you have seen that it contains greater amount of linolenic acid, and it can be as high as more than 50%. So, because of this, it is perfect drying oil and hence used extensively in paint and varnishes. So, it really has number of uses in different industries. So, due to high percentage of linolenic acid, oil has a short shelf life. This is a limitation and gets oxidized on exposure to air and turns rancidity. So, what happens, certain fatty acids or particularly linolenic acid is susceptible to be decomposed or to become rancid in the presence of air. So, that is really a limitation of the linseed oil. Linseed is the richest source of omega-3 essential fatty acid needed by the body. So, these days many people are eating these linseed seeds, or somewhere they call it TC, etc. So, it has good market. Some can make powder of the seed and they are eating it in their diets to get the omega-3 essential fatty acid, and therefore, it is very, very important, nutritious. It is recognized a whole food similar to milk and recommended for all irrespective of age and gender. So, you have already seen it has very good composition of protein, composition of oil, certain minerals and vitamins, and number of constituents are there which may make it as a whole food. Now, linseed cake is also important. It is used to feed the livestock. So, it is a product of left after extraction of oil from its seed, which may be further ground to give linseed meal. So, when you extract the oil from the seed, it is a byproduct which is linseed cake. Linseed cake contains moisture about 11%, protein 32%, oil 10%, carbohydrates 32%, fiber 9% and mineral 6%. So, here you can see even the cake is nutritionally rich. So, it is an important source of protein for livestock. It contains significant amounts of minerals in it. So, you can see the linseed cake, and sometimes it is also called as meal, M-E-A-L, meal, linseed meal. So, it absorbs large amount of water and increases bulk proportionately. So, it is not good for human and poultry consumption. It can be used in conjunction with other inorganic manures for increasing soil fertility. So, linseed cake also contains some nitrogen or protein, and which can be used as a manure along with some other cakes like neem cake can be used. So, this way it can increase the fertility of the soils. Linseed fiber has a great strength, fineness and durability, being lustrous, stronger, less stretchy, more durable and resistant to environmental fluctuations than cotton or jute. Strands of squoosed fiber bundles are around 90 to 125 centimeter long. Length of individual fiber cells varies from 6 to 65 millimeter with an average diameter of 0.02 millimeter. It is used for making sutli, 2 to 4 ply threads, strong twines, canvas, carpets, and also for blending with other plant and synthetic fibers. Making of hose pipe, water containers, file covers, wrappings, and fine quality writing paper, particle board, etc. Dear students, hope you enjoyed the lecture. Thank you very much.